Hello again. This is the Waterman, Spiritual Toolbox number 109, the Low Chapter 85, audio recording 427, and examination table number 89. Okay, I'm going to continue. We'll be continuing in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. In the King James Version, it says, "Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall pass away." Okay? Last time, I had covered the word that they translated as prophecies. Number 4394. Now, there's one little bitty thing I'm going to add to that when we get down in there. Okay, you know it comes from 4394. It's that. There's this word. I'm going to go down here and show you real quick.
Strong's G 4394. Prophetia.
Okay.
Prophetia.
That word comes from 4396. This word.
Strong's G 4396. Prophetes. Prophetes.
Okay, and then it goes down to 4253 and 5346 as a compound word that comes down from. 4253 is this word.
Strong's G 4253.
Pra. No, it's like saying God's the Alpha and Omega. It's pra. It's the first. He's right. Yeah, okay. Priority, you know. Is superior, okay? Alright, now. And then, when we get down to this, well, let's see, where am I? Okay, 5346 is the other part of that compound word. Okay? And that's that femi, okay? Now, in the bottom of this, you know, the femi, and then you get down 54, 57, which is a phos, and 53, 16, that's both words. It comes from the base of both these words. 53, 16, which is that phino, P-H-A-I-N-O, okay? Now, all those words at the bottom of that, whenever it's speaking of like light, and, you know, God reignited that gas inside your mind, that stuff as it's heating up, okay? Through all these fire trials and these tribulations, calamities, these pressures, the thalipsis, okay? And it's boom, igniting into this star, like inside your mind. It's transforming it inside your mind, inside this universe of a mind. It's like igniting a fire, like the rebirthing. Do it again, okay? You're like re-entering back in. That's why in God. And it's a flame that's burning from God. God's consuming fire, and God is a refining fire. God is the fire. Okay? He's the light. God is light, and God is love. God's that understanding, that illumination. Okay? And you're becoming luminous. All these words here at the end, down at the base of this thing. What is it? 50, Femi, Phos, Phino, and then that other one, Pro. It's all come from God, and it's right. It's been purified and meets God's standard, and it's lit. It's like that light that you put on top of a candlestick. Okay? That influence in your heart, in your mind, and it's reflects out into your lifestyle, the grace. Charis, C-H-A-R-I-S. Okay? All this stuff is being like fused in a star, just like the stars out in the universe, this natural universe. Well, there's stars inside of you, this stuff here. All this is like being fused, pressed together, where there's lots of heat, lots of pressure in those stars. God's your high tower. God's your refuge. God's your sufficiency. It's like in a nucleus. It's held tightly more tightly than even the strong force holds the protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. This is holding it like in that star inside of you. Lighten it up. Booyah! Or whatever noise you want to express that flame. And it's all the way down real tiny in this whole, like your whole universe, like this, the mind, like in this observable universe, just in the observable universe. Not talking about outside that, which would be other people's observable universe, right? The universe of your mind, the orderly arrangement in your mind, in the mind of your humanity. God's transforming, relighting, rebirthing. You must be born again, rebirthing those lights, illumination, the understanding of His love beyond words, where God's holding you in, you're resting in God. God is your sufficiency. No longer are you going in that area of your thinking process. This is one singular, one little bitty area of your thinking process. And you got a whole myriad of areas to work on. God's doing it. You just agree, exist, back into God. Back all the way in, resting in God. The battle is the Lord's. And then SYM, you're in union with God. And it'd be just like you're like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It's a picture. Or Daniel's in the lion's den, all these different things. Little David going up against Goliath, those winds and waves battering on your ship, your humanity. Okay? Noah out there building the ark, he's resting in God, all this stuff. All kinds of examples. They're pictures of what's going on in your mind. All these pressures and stuff coming against you, so God's holding you. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. There's three of them, but there was a fourth one in there. God was protecting them. Okay, I done taught on that some, and maybe I'll bring it out more. Now, so it's fusing this star. It's fusing all this light and everything. That's what's just giving you a little bit more of a picture. Okay, a little bit more detailed. Now, that's that one that covers that prophecies, not a prognostication, fortune telling, forecast. No. It's what's going on right now. It's the prophet, interpreter of the Word of God. He's helping you to see these things. Okay? Now, the next word in that verse is hang on, let me read that verse again. Okay? Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies. Okay, that prophecies. Whether is the if, right? Conditional statement where you're agreeing and then you're not agreeing. But you got to be agreeing to go proceed through that eye of the needle, going back in, and that's why in God, and relighting that fire. Right? Now, and then, but that's that continuative or adversative. You're agreeing or disagreeing again. Okay? It's from that word day. Then prophecies. I've spent several videos on that. And then they shall fail. That comes from one word. Katargeo. This word.
Strong's G 2673.
Katargeo. Okay. Now, there's prophets giving you, like, helping you. They can't work out your salvation or your deliverance for you. Okay? But they're like giving you a little stronger ability to see beyond just like this 2,500 stars at night. Okay, on a clear night, see the whole expanse of the sky, you still can only see 2,500 with your bare naked eyes, unaided eyes. Just giving you a little bit like binoculars. Here, try these out. Try this telescope, this. Now look into the infrared. Okay, now let's look into the radio waves. Now. Or listen here. You're seeing, hearing, taste, touch, or smell, controlled by God. He's showing you. He's just helping you. But you still got it. He's like leading you to the water, to the thought processes of God. But you got to drink. You got to choose. Agree. In the middle of those fiery trials and that storms of life, the pressures and stuff, you got to work out your own salvation, your own deliverance. Not in fear and trembling, but respect, honor, adoration, acknowledging God is true, and all my humanistic thinking is bullcrap. Burn that stuff up, chop it out, skim it off as God's melting it out. Right? And these storms of life, and as he's chopping it out, twist, turn, chop. And that's in each and every little ball of your thinking, if you will, right? The little pixel, the seed of Christ with all that yuck around it. And God's chop, working on it, transforming it. So you got to agree. Right? I'm saying here, they shall fail. Okay? It's prophecies. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you more about this word. It's a verb. Now, and this comes from two root words in the etymology, okay? We'll get to them in a little bit. And it means, on the online version, biblical usage. Let me see here, kind of follow this, help me. Actually, I could go there. It's to render idle, be unemployed, a whole bunch of stuff. But this is, instead of this being what it call it here? Hang on a minute. They shall fail. These prophecies. Okay. Well, here, this is what it's meaning. What it actually says. Okay. Let me get to it. Jumping all around there. That's it. How to pronounce that?
Strong's G 2673.
Catargeo. Okay. That's that comes from these 1-2 words. Okay. But in the strong comes from 2596 to 691. Okay. And that in the Strong's, that katargeo means to be rendered entirely idle. Okay? Or to be unemployed. Make of none effect. That's some of them in the Thayers, okay? Now, this unemployed or be rendered inactive. This is because of, see, God having the prophet to see in Ephesians 4:11, the apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor who teaches. Okay, as you're functioning in this. Okay, from out of that EN and SYN, them little stars inside of you. Okay? And not all those thinking processes have been transformed back into a star and rebirthed as a star. But the ones the parts that have went through the lots of really grilling funnel. Okay? And are in God, that's giving you like ability, helping you, aiding the person to get that splinter out of their eye, which is actually a log that's in their eye, their own carnality, their own ego in their own mind. Okay? And it's given like stronger binoculars or telescopes or see farther into it and help them make that decision. But they have to make that decision to agree with God or to disagree. But to agree and hot pursuit themselves. They got to work it out themselves. The prophet, the evangelist, pastor, all them things, that's any, when you going through the Spirit's functioning through you. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And from out of this reflection, from out of this actual existence, En and S-Y in God, that little star within your universe of mind, you can do all things through Christ. It's no longer I that lives, but it's Christ that lives in me. Right? Not from out of this one that's still in processing. That's still in the poop phase. Right? You still got poop mixed up there. Alright? But whenever it gets all that, those parts down in there that's relit, rebirthed to the Spirit, from out of that, it's illuminated. That grace, that reflection from the influence of God in your heart, in your mind, in your thought processes, and the reflection out into your lifestyle, including gratitude, that's doing work. Okay? And it's giving them, like aiding them, helping them, like you put an aid binoculars on. Oh, you can see, wow, there's more than 2,500 stars up here. And then telescope. Yeah, stronger ones, and then ones of different parts of that electromagnetic spectrum. Wow. Okay? They're coming, helping them. Okay? Now this is saying this will be rendered, it should not fail. It's saying that it's rendered, it's bringing that part of that other person's mind, helping them get through this funnel of correction all the way back to En and S-Y in God. When they get this part and that, boom, that's lit, relit, rebirthed, back En and S-Y in God, they're unemployed in that area. They're inactive. It's completed. Their work's done. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. All right, you helped them all that you can do. And it's not from out of that dark ignorance of God's ways that you're doing it. It's from the close personal relationship being down in there and boom, being like the fire of God. Being the star, the fuse, where it's fused, you're back En and S-Y in God. That's what's taken out. Because that log's in that area has been taken out of you. And it's fixed. Can't go back. Can't change that little cucumber, or that little pickle thinking process back into a cucumber. There's a whole bunch of that in there to work on. There's just little parts. See, God's adding, and each one of these is making you into a heavier, more glorious doxa, a more glorious, weighty, dense character of God in you. And that's reflecting out that grace, that influence in there, that little stars, a whole bunch of them in this whole universe of a mind is doing the work. You'll know a tree by the fruit it bears. This little stars in there doing the work. All this other stuff is just not true. That's what I'm saying. God's going to send you to hell. That's not right. If you got some discernment, just like Jericho said. Jericho means that's your smeller. Right? Remember? You're seeing, here, and taste, that's your smell, your smeller. You smell. Does that smell like poop? Or does that smell like God? Does it smell like the God that you know, the relationship? God loves you beyond words. And this other, where it's good, bad, ugly, where you thought, and scientifically, all this crap, it's poop. Don't associate with that stuff. Get it away. Get it away. Like Isaiah chapter Isaiah chapter 30, verse 19 to 22. Again, my tongue was like getting tied. Okay? Ooh, yuck. Get it away. Alright? It's not right. It smells like poop. I don't want to live in that. Get that off my shoe, off my foot, my lifestyle, my very existence. Right? My children, as it says in John chapter 10, hear my voice, and the voice of that other one, they won't listen to it. When you're reignited in this fire, you're a little sun in this, and there's how many suns in the observable universe? What was that, like 1e to the 24, 1 with 24 zeros after it? And really, they don't know much more than that. That's just observable universe in one person. Not observable universe in Lisa and everybody, Tom, Dick, Harry, all these, Jane over here, anyone, your neighbor, your fellow human being, there's a myriad of, okay, billions right now, and how many through antiquity? Oh, there's, I don't know, a whole lot. Okay? Now, so, you're doing, that's the job. God's bringing you down, reuniting those little signs, those little stars within your universe of a mind to do that work, to help shed light, shine all those, that Phos and Femi and Plino and that Pro that's being fused together, making that star reunite, be rebirthed, must be born again. Okay? Booyah! Baptism of the Holy Spirit. Okay? And see, you're talking in other tongues, the language of God. Your communication, EN and SY in that, is beyond language. You don't need to take time, put a delay on it to elongate it or anything by speaking words. It's a direct communication to God. It's like this, to being, you're like tidally locked, like the same side of the moon is always facing the earth. It's tidally locked there to God. Like the single-eyedness of a dove. One eye is watching them, the other eye is doing what it has to do throughout this lifetime. That one eye is always focused right on God. And to be quantumly entangled, it's like faster than the speed of light. Which if it looks up, you automatically know it's down. Okay? You automatically know what God's telling you what to do. Don't need no help from no one else. Don't need to rely on words. Definitely don't need to listen to your old beast nature. Your old donkey and alpha dog and all this parakeet that's speaking beast language. Sneaky snake trying to bite you and all kinds of poison you. Okay? All this stuff, trying to eat these Joppa dogs, Joppa milkshake with your own righteousness, your own right-mindedness, your own tree of the knowledge of good and bad in it. It's not needed. I'll get to that a little later in this verse, okay? All right? Now, so this they shall fail is actually, it's like complete. You've helped them, you've aided them, getting that thought process in there. Now, there's other areas. If yours is relit, then it's back to work again. All right? Now, let's see here. This, let me get down here to this again. It said, they shall fail. It's that from 2673. That's this word, okay?
Strong's G 2673.
Katargale. Okay. And that's that to be rendered entirely idle. Doesn't mean like, oh man, now it's wrong. This prophecy was correct until now it's wrong, it faileth. No, wrong concept. It's like it completed it. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Right? Okay. Now there's another. There's how many areas in your thinking process? A whole myriad. If God's lit it in you, relit that star in you. And that's for God's standards, not yours. You go part of the way and, oh, I'm relit. No, you're not. In truth, is that seed of faith come all the way back into the complete truthfulness of God in that area of your thinking or not? All the way in and explaining God. If you're condemning and all this stuff in this area, then it's not lit. Okay? God is love. Love beyond words. Okay? Beyond our understanding. It's not just tiptoeing through the tulips. You didn't get into that E-N and S-Y-N by tiptoeing through the tulips. No, you got in like that cucumber being changed into a pickle through boiling water, boiling thought processes, and bitter, sour vinegar solution being thrashed. You got taken, change the way you think over and over and over and over and over and over. Not just one time. Well, microwaved it, it's pretty hot. No. I didn't qualify it. Oh, I've had about enough of this. I'll give up on it. No more. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? How well is that working for you? You're only getting part of the way. You're like a 30 or 60 fold in that area of your thinking. God takes you all the way back in. There is some 30, 60. It's however far God permits. I want more of you, God. Chop it out. Yes, sir. Be emphatic. Hot pursuit. That lukewarm stuff. Spit that strong lizard, that strong beast nature. Just like those ites of Deuteronomy 7:1 that are stronger and mightier than you. It's that imaginary things of fear, violence, all this stuff, independent stuff, attitude, this do by the Jebusite. Religious thing telling you, do this, do that, do this, do that. Work. Do what you gotta do something. That's poo-poo in your temple. No, you're not, that you are the temple of the living God. First Chronicles chapter 11, verse 4. The one from Jebus, the first one to kill that one from Jebus, that Jebusite. In your mind. Shall be chief and captain, shall be first fruit. Brought back in, boom, light into a little fire. You put that fire on the lampstand, on the candlestick. Bright, shines out. You'll know a tree by the fruit it bears. And they'll be able to discern. Is that of God? Smells like a bed of roses. Nope, that smells like poop. Get out of here. They can help guide you. See, the apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher from Ephesians chapter 4:6. They're for the edifying, the encouraging of the saints. They're helping them, the aiding. They don't do it for them. No, my pastor prays for me, so therefore I don't have to worry about it. I can go out and do all kinds of stuff. They'll take care of it and they got me covered. That's carnal. Yuck! Ooh, yuck! How many times you heard that from somebody? Think, hey, you big dummy. About call him a dumbass. I mean, I just did. Oh, no, call them. They're feeding from that dumb donkey nature, their own stinking thinking, because it's agreeing with them. And that Joppa dog tastes good in their mouth. But in their belly, oh, it's bitter. Oh, man, it's making them sick. It's bad for their spiritual health. It's death. To be carnally minded is death. Okay, so this they shall fail is just where in this that catagio, whatever, I'm about to run out of time. That's just been unemployed. You can help them as far as you can in this area. Okay, and they do it over and over and over. Now there's two words at 2596 and 691. 2596 basically means down and throughout inside of you. Okay, and 691 is to be inactive or unemployed. So you complete them thoroughly, but it's not you doing it. As the apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher, you just helped them, you've aided them, but you haven't. They got to work it out themselves. They got to make those decisions themselves. But you like me giving you the spiritual toolbox, so that you can more accurately make your decisions. Ah, yes, I see. Magnifying glass, telescope, looking deeper into it. Oh, I understand. So you can make a more informed decision. Work it out. Get this thing right in your mind. Okay? I got to get off here. It's about to time out on me. So this is Spiritual Toolbox number 110. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I'll continue here later.